Hello and welcome to what is quite a bright day in Northumberland. That's why I'm squinting quite a bit, but you can see how beautiful the scenery is from up here, hopefully. And you probably noticed that I'm walking and talking this time. I'm not standing in front of a tripod with a rehearsed script, and that's because I've got a new camera, so I thought I'd get some practice with it, and in so doing show you guys quite an interesting hidden gem here on the Chillingham Hills. Okay, I've reached the site that I was trying to get to. This is Ross Castle. That is Ross with just one S. And there was never a castle here, but it's called Ross Castle because it's the site of an Iron Age hill fort, about 3,000 year old. And at the very top, there's an interesting view that I want to show people. And I came here once before, years ago, and the view can only be seen on a clear day, apparently. And last time I came, it was extremely foggy. You could barely see your hand in front of your face. So I'm going to give it another try and see what I can find. Well, the heather really does look beautiful, but I don't think it was the best day for me to be wearing shorts. There's no natural pathway for me to follow, so I'm trekking through all the long plants and what have you. So hopefully I don't get any ticks. But it's my first time using a vlogging camera like this. I've not practiced yet, so when I watch it back, it's probably going to be all shaky. Oh, look at that view though. It's just one of those places where it doesn't matter how much footage you take, how many pictures you get, it just cannot do the real view justice really, but quite steep going up. Right, I've now found a bit of a pathway. There probably was one the whole time, I just missed it. I always tend to follow the path of most resistance, generally, as a rule. Not intentionally, but yeah, the reason I've got this vlogging camera, well, there's two reasons really. The first is because I like to travel quite a lot, both at home and abroad. And most of the time, I can't be bothered carrying, my big DSLR camera, and so I don't get any footage. But this is small, it's handy, it's mobile. So when I do travel around, which I intend to a lot more later on in this year, I've got a big trip planned to Asia. Just means that I can do some filming and not miss out on potential content. But the second reason is because when I'm making my usual form of videos, which is me speaking to the camera on a tripod with a rehearsed script, well, it's just that, isn't it? It's scripted. So videos like this, I guess, I'm able to bring more of my personality to the channel, which doesn't really come through on the regular form of content. So we'll see how it goes. This can be a bit of a preview. And if people like it, then why not? I can make more. But right, I think I've reached the summit now. This is the top of Ross Hill, Ross Castle. Okay, so this isn't what I came here to see, but I found it just now and it's quite interesting. So it says Ross Castle Camp. This height, with its wide prospect, was a favourite resort of Sir Edward Grey. Edward Grey, he was the Foreign Secretary from 1905 until 1916, so you can imagine that he had quite a few sleepless nights in the lead up to World War I and the first couple of years of the war, but he had family connections here in Northumberland, specifically in this part of Northumberland, so this to him was a very important spot. He probably found a lot of peace here in the midst of everything that was going on in regards to his job in Europe and just the world situation at the time. But he's the guy that said that famous quote, "The lamps are going out all over Europe and we shall not see them lit again in our lifetime," something like that. He's the one that came up with it. So this was his favourite spot to come to, and you can understand why it's gorgeous. So anyway, this is what I wanted to show you. Not so much this little stone box, but what it said you can see when you're in the box. So it's a bit windy actually. So it said that you can see 5, some say 5, some say 7. I think it's supposed to be 7 castles from this viewing point. I'm going to step back down here because it is quite windy up there. This stone wall makes a good wind blocker. But yeah, you can see 7 castles from this viewing point. And Northumberland has more castles than any other English county, which is to be expected. You know, it's a frontier county. And 7 of them you can see from this spot. Now the first one is Lindisfarne Castle. It's a Tudor castle, but Lindisfarne, the island where the Vikings famously raided, is just over there. Now you can't really see it with this camera, but on this occasion I did actually bring my other big zoom lens. So there is Lindisfarne. Next to it is my favourite castle, Bamborough, just over there as well. I did kind of realise there's no point really pointing because my finger's not lining up with the castle. But the next one is Dunstanburgh Castle, and Dunstanburgh Castle is just over there. I'm pointing again. And the view's massively obstructed by those awful wind turbines. And I don't really want to get too political, but my political philosophy is if it's ugly, then it's bad, and if it's beautiful, then it's good. So I'd want those torn down. I want to be able to see Dunstanburgh Castle. But yeah, the other ones, Alnwick Castle and Warkworth Castle, are said to be in that direction. I say said to be as if it's some kind of myth. They are in that direction, but I cannot see them at all. And it is a clear day. It's not foggy or cloudy anymore. So I should be able to see them with the big zoom lens, but I don't know, maybe it's my eyesight, but I cannot see them from here. The next one is Chillingham Castle, which you can't really see from this platform. I'm going to have to get over here. So to get a bit of a better view, I had to jump the wall, but just over there in those trees is Chillingham Castle, and I'll have to use the zoom to see if I can actually get a glimpse of the castle, but the trees are really heavily obstructing it. But if the trees weren't there, that would have been the easiest castle to see. But also, don't know if you can see it, there's a battle house, a fortified house that would have kept out the border reivers in this area. Okay, so where are we at? We've got Lindisfarne 1, Bamborough 2, Dunstanburgh 3, Alnwick and Warkworth 4 and 5, Chillingham is 6, and number 7 is Norham Castle, which is in that direction, and I can't see it. I can't see it. I should have brought my glasses, I'm short-sighted, but yeah, I'll have to rely on the lens for that one. So if I can see it with the lens, you'll be seeing it on screen now. But even if you couldn't see any castles, what a viewing platform this is. Just, it's absolutely spectacular. And with the exception of the wind turbines, it's pretty idyllic up here. You can understand why Mr. Grey loved to escape the trials and tribulations and horrors of the modern world by coming up here. Really, really beautiful. And again, like I mentioned before, it's just one of those places where the camera can't pick up how nice it is. So I think even for a lot of local people, this spot's not too well known. So hopefully by showing it here, if you're in North Northumberland, it's somewhere that you can have a nice little walk to, get some great views. I remember back in 2022 when I made my first video with me actually on screen instead of just having audio videos. I was really overthinking that. Just thinking like, oh, look really awful, sound really awful, everyone's going to be laughing at me. And I think some of that awkwardness that I had, because I'm a very shy and introverted person, talking to the camera really doesn't come natural to me. And yeah, if I watch it back, I can definitely detect the awkwardness. But, you know, it's always going to be the case when you start out with something. And that awkwardness is probably going to, in some way, appear in this video as well. Because I've never walked and talked with the camera before. I've never not used a script. And it is what it is. I'll probably look back on this and cringe in a couple of years' time. But as I said, you cannot let perfect be the enemy of the good, because then there's no room for improvement. And in a couple of years' time, when I'm still making videos, and some of them will be in the form of vlogging like this, they're going to be a lot better because of the practice that I've had and started with today. So when people do ask me, you know, how should I get into video making? You've just got to start. You've just got to remember that, you know, all the videos that you watch on YouTube, do you sit and laugh at people's appearances or things like that? Not really. You don't care. No one cares. And that's something to remember. So that was Ross Castle, a lovely little hidden gem. So make sure you get outside, get some fresh air, and go and explore the lovely parts of our country, or your country. That's it for today.